Hi Rajesh,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good as well. Okay, so I will just give a quick introduction about Rajesh. He has been into photography from a very long time, and his company is known as Bridal Safari, and he is a wedding photographer and as well as he is a wedding educator as well. So yeah, that's a brief about Rajesh. Okay, so Rajesh will start with the session.
Sure.
Yeah. So Rajesh, firstly, I would just like to know how it all started, how you started your journey into wedding photography and all the details about it.
Right. So it started in a pretty interesting way because I was almost 8 years in my corporate career, and
Okay.
I, there was, I was chasing another dream, and I
Right.
attended a photography workshop which was being conducted by a wedding photographer, and that sparked the entire thing where those 3 days basically ignited the passion to not just look into photography but actually look into wedding photography, because it actually gave a beautiful balance between the commercial part of it and the art part of it. So although I was doing very well in my corporate career, but
Mm-hmm.
it was not very fulfilling in terms of creativity. So I wanted,
Right.
that's where I started with photography, and it's been a good 10, 11 years now.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So nowadays there are a lot of wedding photographies, wedding trends. So people are really confused, like which photographer they should actually hire. There are a lot of photographers, candid photographer, traditional photographer. So can you
True,
just
true.
give a little information about all sort of photographers and which actually works and yeah.
Yeah. So, Shweta, see, the last 10 years is some kind of a mini revolution which has happened in the field of photography. And,
Right.
uh, you know, uh, what started off with being very conventional, traditional, and, stiff, boring pose pictures have been elevated to really a art form. And I think what's, very important is that people, I've written a small blog piece, we'll share it with your audience later.
Sure.
It's a acronym. It's called Superman, where, each letter stands, for what you can look for in a photographer. Of course, it
Right.
all starts with the style of photography that you really
Mm.
want in your wedding. And there's no right or wrong. I think it's different occasions, they warrant for a different style of photography. For instance, a reception may want something like a more like a hybrid approach, where you're also taking some candidates, but you're also taking those formal shots.
Right.
So style, it starts with style. Then I think it's extremely important whether the photographer and his team, her team, they really understand what you want, from your wedding.
Right.
And as easy as it may seem, but it's a very, very critical point to be on the same page with the clients. And then it's also important to know the kind of personality that the photography team as such has. So
Right.
if the personality is weak, and you're looking out for, because weddings are a very chaotic kind of an event. And if you do not have a strong team which is able to manage through various situations, and all the ups and downs, and still come up with amazing pictures, then somewhere there's going to be a compromise. Then, of
Right.
course, there is experience the reputation of the photography team, money, of course, they have to fit, in the budget. But of course, it's all about also the value that they are giving. So if you have to stretch your budget a little, I think photography is the place where you can and you should. And apart from that, the attitude of the photography team, as I said, it's a very high pressure kind of a event, and it happens once in a lifetime, hopefully. And
Yeah.
and of course the niche, because the photographers these days are, a lot of them are doing too many things. You have
Yeah.
photographers also, pursuing fashion, and they're pursuing wildlife, and they're pursuing food. So, I would, definitely advise that you try to choose from a team which focuses just on weddings. So it's also important to
Right.
have, because in order to build that kind of a knowledge, that kind of an experience, though putting those amount of hours into getting that experience, uh, niche is very, very important. So there you have it, the Superman acronym. It's very, very simple.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay, that's great. People will have a good idea about which photographer, how photography works, and what they should actually hire or something. Okay.
Right.
So, next question to me is, so what people are very much fantasized with the name drone photography. So, for
Right.
what wedding event or for what particular function do you suggest that? And are there any permissions that we need to take for drone photography?
Yes. See, with respect to drone, a couple of years back, anyone could use a drone, but these days, it requires you to register. If you're buying a drone, it has to be registered. And
Right.
especially if the wedding is close to an Air Force base, or if it is happening at the at one of those locations which are it is a prohibited area to shoot in.
Right.
So these are the places where it is not allowed to do drone photography. And just to be on the safer side, you can always check with the local uh, the venue whether the drone photography is allowed. And if at all there are some certain restrictions, you can get a permission from the local police station, because I mean, we had our drones being confiscated, because
Oh,
we did not know it was a no-fly zone.
yeah, that's right.
So so yes, there are certain restrictions that one has to follow. But in terms of where to use it, I think outdoors is the place to use it. Of course, indoors, you will, I mean, one will find it very difficult to operate, the drone. And
Right.
typically, pre-weddings are a great place to use it. Or if it's a beach wedding, it's a wedding in the hills, just, where from, the top view, you can get the entire, span of uh, the wedding. It just looks incredible. But typically for cinematography, where you can put in these couple of seconds in the film, it looks just beautiful.
Okay. So I would like to understand what is so unique and different about cinematography, like
Yeah,
for which wedding functions, or how does cinematography works basically?
right. So cinematography is an extension of uh, contemporary photography. What candids are to photography, cinematography is to the video, where uh, basically what happens is, every function, every uh, session during the wedding, uh, the videographers, they capture these beautiful moments. So the
Right.
idea is not to capture everything. It's You're just looking
Mhm.
out for those moments, and you capture those moments, and finally, when you put the film together, then these moments form the film.
Okay,
So
the
that's
best
how
moments of the wedding.
the best moments of the wedding. And of
Right,
course the way you you shoot it, it's not just moments, but it's
right,
the creative rendition to
right.
capture those moments. So you have these uh, techniques which if you love films, you would know how
Yeah,
to grip an audience with beautiful takes. So that's what
right.
cinematography is all about.
Okay, great. Okay, so I would just like to understand there are a lot of locations, a lot of themes,
Yeah.
props, and timings for pre-wedding photograph, pre-wedding
Yes.
photo shoot. So,
Yeah.
what do you suggest for pre-wedding photo shoot? Like some of the locations or the best time to do that, or some of the
Right.
trending themes and props?
See, with re with respect to props, we are not very enthusiastic about them because props are like fads and they've changed very quickly. And
Right,
something like a wedding, which is everlasting, timeless, you would want to see it again and again, and perhaps your grandchildren would also be kind of savoring it. So
yes,
these props, although they are cute, and so we never say no, but we don't go out advertising the prop. What we do is we engage in a conversation with the couples and we try to understand uh, what is it that they're looking at. So if they are looking at a certain prop, maybe going to a park and opening a bottle of champagne, and we are more than happy to incorporate it. But
okay,
left to us, if the clients don't want any of these and they just leave it to us, we would rather get the clients to uh, be themselves and share those beautiful little moments of togetherness. And that is what
right.
sticks. That is what makes it classy, contemporary, ageless. So I mean that's what my take is on props. Um, and in terms of location, we are very, very flexible. But what I've seen is if you kind of uh, have, other things also planned for the day, then, it's always in a hurry. So, my advice is going to be if you're going to have a pre-wedding shoot, keep your day open. I mean, and just focus on doing just the pre-wedding shoot. And because there's no point in putting so much of effort and time uh, when you're always looking at your watch and you want to go back to work or
Right.
something important. And in terms of location, again, we are quite flexible. We're very happy shooting on a busy street. We're very happy shooting in a uh, in a temple. So but as I said, if you keep your day slightly open and try to do the shoot maybe off city limits, that's where
Right.
you all the traffic is gone, and you know uh, once you go beyond 30-40 kilometers, the skyline changes. You can explore these beautiful places. Mumbai has so many, just 30, 40, 50 kilometers beyond Mumbai. Bangalore has so many. Delhi has so many. So we are spoiled for choices, really. It takes is a little bit of planning, and you can have fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, got it. Yeah, that's great. So we have, so basically open to nature. If we go thoda out of
Yes,
the city, then we get a very good place open to nature. Yeah, that's
absolutely.
perfectly right. Yeah.
Absolutely,
Okay.
and it doesn't have to be something absolutely fantastic. It could also be the pre-wedding shoot
Yeah.
can be about your story. Where did you guys meet? That little cafe, or that restaurant, or that mall, or the garden. And so it can be very, very personal as well because we are not
Right.
just looking at beautiful, locations. We are also looking at uh, those stories. And I
Right.
mean, it is a very, very personal story, and this story will be meaningful for the. So it's not about just showing to the world. It's also about caring for those places which mean so much for the couple.
Right. Got it. Okay. So, what do people usually prefer these days, like soft copies or hard copies? And what are the latest trends for wedding photography albums, or how the wedding photography album looks these days,
Yeah.
basically?
I mean, in the day of the social media, everybody wants a soft copy,
For
com-
sure.
compressed in size, so that immediately they can share it on Instagram. Uh,
Right.
but there is nothing that comes close to a hard copy. I mean, the look, the feel, and the way the entire coffee table, the book is. It's just uh, you know it, it's when you I mean, as a photographer, it gives me so much joy that this is the final product that you know I finally give to my clients, and
Right.
it rests on the on the coffee table. It's a part of the living room, and uh, every page has a part to play in the entire story.
Right.
And it's the joy that you have holding a photograph in hand. There's nothing which beats a hard copy. So
Okay.
personal preference, always a coffee table book. And these days, you're spoiled for choices in terms of
Right.
sizes, in terms of the quality. We personally give a flush mounted album, which is a thick album. The pages are very thick, 400 GSM pages, and it's got a lay flat finish. So when you hold it, it's like you're holding a piece of art. So
Right.
it's really, really satisfying to flip through a coffee table book, and we crave to give that and see the expression from our couples once they look at the entire picture, because it's also when you're sharing the soft copies, you're sharing quite a bit. So you, for instance,
Right.
you're sharing about 500 images with the clients, but when
Right.
you're sharing the coffee table book, there's just 80, 90 images,
Right.
and these are the best of the best of the best. So
Right.
every page kind of stands out. It's like a conversation starter. It's it's something which will evoke emotion.
Right.
So yes, nothing beats a coffee table book.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so according to you,
Yeah.
what are the things that a couple or a family should consider before booking their wedding photographer? Some of the tips that they should consider before booking a photographer?
Right. See, I think it's very important to book a team which, uh, as I said, the style is something which has to stand out. But
Right,
apart from the style, it is also about the experience of the team, and about whether the team actually understands what you're looking at, and looking from their past body of work, is that the kind of pictures that you want to have in your wedding. And also one thing which a lot of couples, they kind of overlook is when they look at Instagram page of the photographer, uh, not be the same of the team. So if you have a team coming in, then the entire team should have that level of quality. So that is something very, very important. And of course,
right,
they have to uh, fit into your budget.
that's it.
So yeah, as I said, you need a Superman who's going to be Superman team. and each part of it is is important. Whether they are super focused in what they're doing, they follow the that one niche. The team is cohesive. They've got a great attitude. The personality is such that they can easily mingle with your crowd. You don't have to kind of introduce everybody to the team. They should be smart enough to kind of go about the business, and great mind readers. I mean, they should know when the moment is going to happen before it happens.
Right.
So when the bride is going to tear up, or when the dad is going to tear up, or when the mom is going to tear up, and there's a hug which is going to happen between the brother and the sister. I mean, these are just pure moments, and no one is going to repeat it. So having said that, wedding photography is one of the most difficult genres of photography. You need skills of, the patience of a wildlife photographer. You need the skills of a street photographer, a photojournalist. You need the skills of a portrait photographer.
Right.
You need the style quotient of a fashion photographer. So wedding photography to me is a culmination of so many different skills and so many different styles of photography. So I think the wedding photographer should be one who's able to seamlessly get into all these different styles of photography and create consistently beautiful images.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, Rajesh. So I am done with my questions. I am done with all the things that I had to ask. Do you have anything that you want to add up, or do you want to say something?
I think fantastic for you guys to put together a series like this, and speak to different people, just to educate your clients, your brides, and something which I found was missing, from uh, from the perspective of India. A lot of this happens in the West, but you know, this is what is the need of the hour to spread this
Yeah.
knowledge. So absolutely wonderful, job, guys.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Rajesh. And it was really great having you here. You gave us all the information about wedding photography, and it was really a very good session for all the people who have wedding, upcoming weddings, and everything. So, yeah, thanks a lot,
Thank you.
Rajesh.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much, Shweta. Thank you so much, Shweta.
Thank you.
Thanks.